You are now entering the Horror Sanctum.
Hello, and welcome back to the Horror Sanctum podcast. And it's almost Christmas at last. With John and Kellen, I'm Jay. And man, do we have a movie for you today. Director Stephen Lamorte seems to have found his forte. From Screamboat Willie to The Beast Who Is Chilly, we're talking 2022's The Mean One. Hide your wife, hide your son. Now, you may know the story, but this is a bit more gory. It's his time of the year to spread some holiday fear. A tale of Christmas and murder, but takes it just a bit further. He's incredibly obscene, covered in fur that is green, chestnuts roasting and snow covered in red. This is your warning. Spoilers ahead. So sit back, don't flinch. This week we're talking about a murderous Grinch. Now, you may or may not be familiar with this movie. One of us owns it. You can figure out which one that is. So we got you covered. I mean, you kind of do know this movie, right? But in a sleepy mountain town, Cindy witnesses the murder of her parents by a bloodthirsty green figure in a red Santa suit. 20 years later, the Christmas-hating monster begins to terrorize the town once again. Cindy finds her purpose in stopping the creature and saving the holiday. Per usual, spoilers.
Once again, it's never a good thing when a movie starts with 5 to 6 production credits. It's never, ever a good thing, ever. That's always the telltale sign that you got a nugget of shit coming along your way. Usually. I say usually. I'm sure someone will find a movie that is fantastic with that many credits. Tim and Eric $1 billion movie. They made a joke out of that. That's actually an example where they make fun of it. It works. I really hope that the narrator for this film got a good paycheck for this shitty opening because I know he had to take off time from his side gig at Arby's or wherever the fuck he works to do this. I mean,
We've got the meats.
yeah, he's got the meats. He doesn't have the talent because this guy is so bad. It's nice to see they use, I guess, what is it like 29.99 box lights for this movie to make everything look super bright. I think the lighting in my room right now is better than the lights in this movie. It's more yellow. David Howard Thornton is somebody that I don't personally get the hype. I haven't since. I mean, he's good as Art the Clown. The guy is,
That's it, though.
yeah,
Look at his
that's
other
it.
body's work. Like, even that Stream movie, it was fine,
Yeah.
but Art the Clown has made him a household name when he maybe might not should be at this point in time. And whenever you see him, he's wearing a mask or he's in costume. What's
Yep.
that say about you? You know?
Yeah, I agree. He's not, he's no Robert Englund. He's no Kane Hodder. He's definitely no Bill Skarsgård. I know some people hate on Bill Skarsgård. Bill Skarsgård is way better. I think he's desperate for work, and I think he says yes to everything. And I think, if you had like, I don't know, 10% of brain activity and you read this script, you would say no to it unless you just absolutely needed the money. I don't think anybody would say yes to this movie. Basically, this is if you took a Hallmark movie and someone from Hallmark said, let's make a horror movie, but let's really shit it up more than this Christmas garbage we make every year. Like, let's really make it worse. That's what this movie is. It's just like a Hallmark movie. In fact, it's like if Hallmark had a horror channel, this would be the kind of movie on a Hallmark horror channel. The mom and dad are killed at home, and well, first off, when the girl Cindy at the beginning, her mom is killed, right? Years later, she comes back to her home with her dad, and then he's killed by the mean one, the Grinch. You know, wouldn't it make sense to just leave town to like not stay in that house? Wouldn't that make sense to just not stay there? Not in this film. Apparently, it makes a lot of sense to stay here. I will say the dad dying in the first 30 minutes is actually, or I think it's the first 15 minutes. It's actually a good thing 'cause he's a fucking terrible actor. He was horrible. That guy deserved to die in the first 30 seconds of this movie. He was absolutely terrible. Um, I will say the narrator, the actors. Unfortunately, it's too late for this, but if you had a choice between acting in this movie or a sequel to this movie, God forbid, or taking an extra shift at Arby's take the extra shift at Arby's, right? Use the paycheck at Arby's, get you a steady career, become a manager, because acting in these type of films is not going to get you anywhere besides the dollar bin, and not even that. It's going to get you, I don't know, Tubi, if that, free on YouTube. Like that's the best case scenario with this type of stuff. The cops in this movie are useless. The sheriff's totally useless. People that cosplay as cops on Halloween are more useful than the cops in this movie. They serve no purpose. They're terrible. And let me just say, in these type of movies, this is a bad movie, and I think the filmmakers know this is a bad movie. When you try to put humor into bad movies like this, I know that, and I'm just gonna speak freely. The people who make these type of movies, I know you think into yourself when you're putting humor in these type of movies, you're trying to make them fun. You're not. What you're doing is it's kind of like you're vomiting over a pile of shit. It's like a pile of dog shit and you're puking on it. That's what you're doing. When you're adding the humor in this, it's not funny. That's all you're doing. You're just making it worse. So if you find yourself making a Z level movie like this, don't add humor in it. Just make the damn movie. Try to make it scary, right? I mean, no one can fault you for that. Don't try to add your stupid I want to be on SNL humor bullshit that you're not good at, clearly. Um, yeah. I just I don't know what the hell they were thinking with any of this movie. I mean, it's the whole thing is garbage. Um,
I can tell you what they were thinking, and I had to double check to make sure it wasn't the same studios. They're thinking Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
yeah,
That's exactly what they're thinking because out of all the public domains, and like we said, this is not public domain. This is just they made a movie. They changed from Dr. Seuss to Dr. Zeus for
yeah,
fuck's sake. So this is not public domain. Those other ones are. But like besides the one asshole that like Bambi the Reckoning, the
right.
Peter Pan one, there's Cinderella ones. They're all terrible, but the Winnie the Pooh ones were decent. The second one especially. First one teeters, but they
Yeah,
saw that and like we can do this. Who can we do it? And then someone's like Oscar the Grouch, like no, we can't do that. Sesame Street's still on TV. The fucking Grinch,
yeah.
brilliant. That's
Uh-huh.
exactly what they were thinking.
Absolutely. And the filmmakers, I'm sure they saw Terrifier and they thought, "Oh, we can really just do this with a Christmas movie, right? We can make the Grinch but Terrifier like and make it violent." Failure on all fronts. I mean, there's so many things in this movie that are absurd. First off, the Cindy girl, she goes from victim to at the end she turns into like John Wick, Ronda Rousey. Like I don't know what that's about. She's watching the news on a tube TV in 2022 or 3 whenever this movie was made. A tube TV she's watching the news on. Like that's like how hard it is to get a tube TV now in general. Even if you go to a Goodwill, you can't even find that stuff. They actually went and someone had that, or someone was so poor that's all they had in their house to put on the set of this fucking movie.
You can get it at a local video store for $500.
Oh yeah, you can go to a video store. Absolutely, yeah. It's some we know. Um, you know, there's a scene where they're looking at the missing hikers on a computer, and they do this terrible Photoshop of the mean one in the background, and I'm like, why? Why did you even try to do that? Then they do this explanation at the end where the sheriff was somehow trying to protect the town and feed. I tried to figure out why they didn't just go to the government or the authorities and try to get this thing stopped. Honestly, I don't care. I tried to think about it for like maybe 13 seconds and I said, you know what? I don't give a shit. I don't want to give them that much energy. I'm giving more energy to this rant than I gave to thinking about the plot of this movie. I just honestly, these things have to be stopped. That's my hope for a better tomorrow. That's my hope for 2026 and beyond. Is these fucking films have to be stopped. We have got to stop watching and making these movies. I want to see what you guys have to
Talking about
think.
them on
But
podcasts. We can't talk about them on podcasts anymore.
yes,
Part of the
exactly.
fucking problem.
I am here for censorship of movies like this. So yes, I want to see what you guys think. Hopefully,
So
I guess we'll see.
the main one, no, what a ringing endorsement from our own John. The main one, 2022, an hour and 33 minutes, 23% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is about 22% too high. This movie's so bad. And I'm going to go ahead and apologize. I was making notes as John was talking because he was reminding me of things, and not one word that John said is wrong. That is 100% correct. Another spot on analogy. The one thing I will say, Hallmark is better quality than this. I've watched a lot of Hallmark movies. I will tell you, and if you are a man and your wife likes Hallmark movies, I'm going to tell you the secret to watching Hallmark movies with your wife where you will like it. One, Lacey Chabert is in a lot of those. And if you're my age, you grew up with her and
Cha-ching.
she was on your list at some point in time. Don't lie to yourself. But that aside, here's how you watch Hallmark movies, okay? And they do this on purpose. Every story's the same. We all know that it's big city to small town, guy or girl, doesn't matter which one it is. They're going to end up in a small town. They're going to meet somebody from their past or somebody new who lives in the small town that's going to make them want to live in the small town and fall in love in about a week or 2 weeks. That's every single Hallmark movie. So now you know the story. This is how you watch them. Every Hallmark movie, the first 15 to 20 minutes is without a commercial. That is to develop the characters, the plot, and the purpose of the movie. The next hour, you can zone out. You can scroll your phone. You can go make dinner. You can do whatever you want because it's all the same. They get closer and closer and closer. Something happens, pushes them apart. That's where you come back. The last 10 minutes of the movie is the climax of the movie and then them getting back together. Everything else in the middle is the same in every single Hallmark movie. So if you want to be able to watch Hallmark movies with your wife and do something for her to earn yourself brownie points, just know you only need the first 15 to 20 minutes. As soon as that first commercial hits, you're done. You can zone out, you can shut your brain off, and then show up for the last 10 because that resolves the story. You're done. Congratulations. You've now watched every Hallmark movie.
Did Megan teach you this? Because I feel like you're the Hallmark person in the family over there.
No, I taught myself this after watching about 50 Hallmark movies.
Jesus Christ.
I've watched so many Hallmark movies. Also, talking about Lacey Chabert, she bakes in almost every single Hallmark movie she's in. It doesn't matter where she goes. If she's in Rome, which she was, or if she's at home, she is going to be baking or in a kitchen doing some kind of holiday treats at some point in time. I don't know if it's in her rider, in her contract, but she bakes in every one. I digress. This is going to be an ADD fueled nightmare.
That's her side hustle, right?
Apologize
Like
for
she's
that.
not making enough movie at the Hallmark Channel, so she's like shipping out cookies on the side.
Baked during the filming of A Christmas to
Like
Remember.
this is 1 out of 10 seen on set in this movie. Like that's a selling point.
Exactly. Um, to John's point, David Howard Thornton has made a career off of being Art the Clown, and I think that what I realized watching this is Art the Clown only works in Art the Clown's universe. He does not work as a Grinch. He does not work as a mouse. He does not work as anything else. He works as Art the Clown because he's a clown. He's being a clown. That works. The writing in that movie helps direct him as to how to be a great clown, and he doesn't have to talk. He doesn't have to do anything except be a creepy clown, murder a couple of people, cut, go home. When you require him to try to do Art the Clown by himself, you get this, and this is trash. I'm sorry. I'm sure he's a nice person. Your niche is Art the Clown, period. Anything that you've done past that has been trash and will be trash forever. Just like this will be trash. Now, I'm going to take a step back and I'm going to say, I get it. Get in real close, people. If you were a writer, a production assistant, if you were an actor in this film, if you were the director, producer, anybody, best boy grip, I don't care what it is. I get it. I get it. You're trying to break it into Hollywood and you think this is going to be your chance. You think this low budget movie where they don't really care what the quality of the acting or anything is. You think this is going to be a highlight reel for my acting gig that's going to get me in the next Leonardo DiCaprio movie. It's not. This is not going to be your big break. Nobody's big break came from one of these trash Tubi, straight to Tubi, straight to the bottom of the $5 bin, broken case, disc dislodged, rattling around in it movie. This is not your big break. This is not going to be the one to do it. You have a better chance at a high school production of Rent where you step in as an adult because they need a couple of fill-ins of being noticed there. Charlize Theron was found in a bank by somebody who worked in movies, not anything that she did movie wise. They just saw her arguing with a manager and thought, hey, you've got a good look and a good attitude. Would you like to be in movies? You have a better chance in the bank line of becoming a famous actor or actress than you will in the mean one. Stop signing up for these movies. It cannot be worth the torment that you're going to have to face knowing that you were in the mean one. When people were like, "Oh, what do I have seen you event in?" It was a little indie film. No, you're not. Nobody has ever puffed their chest out. Well, I was actually Cindy in the mean one. No, you go home and you tell your parents, you probably shouldn't watch that. That's
Well, they wouldn't
trash.
even do that. At that point, you say, "Oh, I was in, the last Grinch movie they made. Yeah, I was in."
Right. You would say the Grinch movie.
That's what you
Exactly.
would do.
Yeah.
And like, oh,
Exactly.
the animated one. Oh, that's cool. Like,
Yeah.
To tell you how bad the writing is in this movie, when it comes to a head and they make the sheriff know that we know that you're in on this, when he admits to knowing about the Grinch, which they make a point of not saying his name um, throughout the whole movie, his first, this to tell you how bad the writing is, his first step when finding out that this thing is killing people was not to try to shoot it, but he literally said, I realized I had to feed it. He had that the man with a gun, with other deputies, with an arsenal of weapons back at the police station, instead of let's get a posse together or hey, there's a monster in the mountains, we need to do something. He's like, we're gonna have to feed it. What the fuck is that? What kind of dumb, uninspired, idiotic writing is that? That Timu Skeet Ulrich, the best thing he could come up with was let's create a website to get hikers up here to get eaten by the monster.
It's the writing. It's the writing of an Arby's assistant manager. That's what it is.
Yeah, they were reading their lines off of an a grease-soaked napkin.
Yeah.
Um, the writing's terrible, the acting's terrible. There's a montage in this where they make her go from being this scared girl to John Rambo in the time it took to film the montage. They don't even allude to this being any amount of time passing other than an afternoon. Like in one afternoon, she became a skilled marksman because her first shot, she probably could have shot the Grinch by accident. She was so far off the target she was aiming at. And within 2 minutes, she's now dead center bullseyes. She's doing flips and shit like she's John Wick or any Jean-Claude Van Damme in any 80s action movie that he was in. And it literally shows no passage of time. It's literally like one afternoon, she set up a couple of hay bales, and now she's going to be able to take on this monster that apparently is unkillable, but nobody really knows because they haven't tried to kill him. This is another example, and I mentioned it in the last review, Anime the Apocalypse. This is a perfect example of that scary movie craze. Scary movie comes out. It's huge. Everybody tries to make their version of it, and they're all shit. Pooh, Blood and Honey comes out, and it actually does well. I think John even said that he enjoyed that. He enjoyed the second one, I think, better. And so they actually did okay with that. And then everybody has tried to recreate that magic. And surprise, you can't. You can't recreate that magic because everything else is either going to be put up against that or looked at for what it is, which is hot garbage slapped on a film reel and sent out for people to watch and regret the hour and 33 minutes that they spent having this beamed into their eyes via whatever. And TJ said he saw this in the theater. That is the biggest waste of money. Why would you buy a ticket to see this? And that's saying, like, there are even big budget movies that aren't theater worthy. Like The Hangover. The Hangover is not a movie that you have to go to the theater to see. Was it a fun movie? Is it a great movie? Absolutely. It is not a big screen worthy movie. And that's not to take anything away from that. But when you pay a ticket to the movie, it's because you want that experience. Top Gun Maverick, that's a theater movie. That's a movie that you want to sit and see it on the big screen. You want to be able to take in everything that's happening. There's so many great films that you could spend your money on. A Hobo in the Back Alley. I would have given him $10 before I'd have spent any money watching this movie. I knew. And it's amazing because these movies take zero time for you to realize this is trash. Within the first 2 minutes, you realize this is trash. The knockoff Ronda Rousey, John hit it right on the head. It's like they tried to make her look like Ronda Rousey, and then they tried to make her be Ronda Rousey, and she was neither Ronda nor Rousey. I will say I ran a note and it cracked me up, and I'm glad my microphone was muted because people would have just heard me laughing. There towards the end of your review, John, I was getting serious AVGN vibes, and it was cracking me up. I could just see him reviewing this the same way. But
You
this
know
is
what's bullshit? Yeah, all right.
shit pickle. This this is not worth your time. We need to start like a wall of shame of all of our movies that get 1 or 0 stars, and this is gonna be on there.
Well,
Go
we have that. We have
spoilers.
that. End of every year, we skip a week for Christmas, so that's when we do our recap. So I'll ask you guys eventually, what was your three, five favorite, and what was your least favorite? So we'll do that.
Mhm.
This is going to be in contention. I can't say that it was worse than the movie we reviewed a couple of weeks ago. I can't remember the name of it now. My memory's garbage.
Mickey's Mousetrap is worse, though, right?
Ooh.
I would say
I don't
yes,
like Mickey's Mousetrap. At least has better production value.
but it has a
Story
fucking
wise,
mask
but
and
story wise,
gloves.
yeah, story wise, it was terrible, and the effort was terrible, and making him teleport was terrible. All of that to say, they actually put effort into filming a movie. I don't think they. This is literally an iPhone 16 they shot this on. Um,
Thanks, killing.
Yeah,
That's
thanks killing.
That's
Yes,
the one. Yeah,
this is going to be up there with thanks killing.
I was thinking
Um,
Halloween 4 for a second. I'm like, which one's it? We don't need to open that
I
one.
would happily watch Halloween 4 and dress like a Dollar Tree Michael Myers for Halloween before I'd ever want to watch this movie again. This is terrible. Doc Zeus, that's what they call the guy that looks like Santa Claus and is supposed to be Dr. Seuss. Doc Zeus. That'll tell you the quality and the creativity that was in this movie. I'm done.
All right, people listening at home, Mickey's Mousetrap is worse. Don't listen to him. So I was when you said trash, which I made that sticker recently, which you people at home haven't seen, but the infamous Halloween 4 episode. First note, trash. Was that your first note today? Vito,
No, no,
Vito, listen closely.
no, my first note was I get it, and it was my rant about I get why you would want to do this, but don't.
So that was his first note for this one, and for Halloween 4, it was trash, giant letters, underlined. But when you said that, it made me think of a Family Guy episode where they're watching a movie, and Peter's waiting for them to say the name of the movie. He's like, "Oh, he said it, he said it." I want people at home to become that with you in trash. So when you say trash, like, "Oh, he said it, he said it." Like I'm gonna design a shirt. Like we're gonna roll with it. Let's shit on David Howard Thornton again just for a second, because I know he's listening. He is he's the Team U Doug Jones, and that's being generous. Doug Jones is always in costume. He has that strange body, strange movements. That's who he wants to be, I think. And maybe I'm wrong, but that's what it feels like. And Bud, you're never gonna be him, ever, ever, ever. I don't think Guillermo del Toro probably knows who you are. He knows who Art the Clown is, but he don't know who the fuck's under that makeup, right? So you took the training montage. It was my first note tonight. What the fuck? Like I wanted to hear the Rocky music playing while she was training. Like I think they tried harder on this one than Mickey's Mousetrap, unlike you guys do, or at least Kellen. But that right there told you like we don't fucking care. Like we're done. Like he's just trying to get this out so he can do his public domain Steamboat Willie movie with David Howard Thornton, where he's a tiny mouse instead of a man in a mask. And it's not a good movie either. It's weird because you got this humanoid mouse chasing people with a fucking fork. It's insane. Same guy made the mean one. And you're like, Jay, but you own the movie. I do own the movie because it's in the damn steelbook, and I have a problem. I don't hate it as much as the two gentlemen did, but I still hate it. Um, it's 15 minutes too long, minimum. There's a movie, TJ and John were probably the only ones I think maybe have seen it, was Host. Came out during COVID.
yeah.
And it's
a
like
good,
an
I like
hour,
it.
hour 7. How good
Good
was that
movie.
movie? And
It's
it
a
was
good
just
movie,
this. It was just this.
Very
Right?
scary.
You're just
Very
in front of a
scary.
screen, and there's
Yeah.
a chair in the back. It moves.
Yeah.
An hour and 7 minutes. Fucking do that with this.
Yeah.
Make it an Adult Swim show, like even the Yule Log movie that they
Right.
have on Adult Swim. Yes, I own that too. That's fun and like ridiculous, but in a way that makes you want to watch it again. It makes you want to say, "Hey, have you seen this? Watch it once, and then you forget about this." You don't even want to tell people to watch once. Had anybody seen this before? We talked about it, just me and TJ.
I've never seen it.
Because I'm pretty sure when we did the vote, John was like, "Let's do the mean one." But I think it's probably because you just wanted to shit on something, and you're like, "I'm gonna fucking hate that movie." Or maybe you had a little glimpse in the back of your head, like, Winnie the Pooh.
I
Like
think
it's
you. I think.
possible.
I think you may have taken a gummy and
That's probably what happened.
imagined a vote because
I
I
think
don't
I had
remember
a-
voting on this at all.
I
You
think I had a
voted
temporary
Anna.
stroke or something. 'Cause
You
I don't
voted Anna and the
remember this.
Apocalypse, and John was like, "Yeah, let's do the mean one." I can't
Wow.
prove it, but it was said by God. All
God,
right.
that was
Anyways,
wrong.
the
Thanks,
biggest
John.
the biggest thing about this is what we've mentioned. It wasn't a public domain thing, so there's like, let's make a Dr. Seuss movie. Like, if you're gonna do that, fine, but do the fucking Lorax with
Yeah.
actually Danny DeVito, where he's just murking people like a Toxic Avenger Captain Planet kind of thing, where like he goes down into the rainforest and they're cutting down trees and he just fucking annihilates all of them. I'll watch the hell out of that. And then you can have a training montage where he turns into Rainbow. That'd be awesome. Puts a little headband on, sign me up. I would watch that. This should have been left alone, mostly because there's some things that are cherished and that you should just leave alone, right? Like from our childhood, they're saying like I keep hearing they're going to make Goonies 2. Please don't. Please don't. We don't need it. I know some people want it. We don't need it. And the other the actors that were in the Goonies are not good actors aside from Brolin and what's his name that was in Love Hurts. But
What's his name? The little Asian kid.
yeah, that's who from Love Hurts. I can't think of his
Okay,
name.
okay. Yeah, from Indiana Jones.
And he a good actor? I don't know, but he's fun. Like he's at least good on screen. Like Everything Everywhere All at Once. Like put him back on the map, and we thank him for that. Thank them for that. Loki. He was in Loki. But Love Hurts is John Wick, but he's a real estate agent. I recommend that one. But The Grinch is something we all watched growing up. It's kind of like Charlie Brown. Like I don't want to see a Charlie Brown horror movie. Winnie the Pooh, fine. Winnie the Pooh came out. I was a little bit older. I really wasn't that into it.
Mhm.
But we don't need something like The Grinch, how we've cherished this for over decades because they keep doing different renditions of it. And then the last rendition we get, or maybe second to last, I guess this was the most, yeah, 2022, so, is this pile of crap. Like, why? Why did you do this to us? Like, I don't know if he had a contract. Like, yeah, you can make Steamboat Willie, but you got to do this shit first.
I think the reason they make these is because it's a quick buck. Like people are going to watch it out of morbid curiosity. Nobody's going to watch it because they're like, "Oh, I can't wait for
And
the
some
main
weirdos go to
one."
theaters and see it, you know?
It's a cash grab. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But at the same time, like Kellen said, like you can get it. There was that small chance this could have been decent, right? It's just like the Good Boy movie. We all thought it was going to be good, but there was that chance it might not be very good because as a dog, it took them 4 years to film it. Like there's just movies, like, even the Bambi the Reckoning. I had read before we reviewed that it was the best public domain movie that they've put out, and I'm like, oh, okay, well I'll watch it. Nope, you're wrong, very, 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 very wrong. Um, so I think there was that. They were probably, and if you notice, he's got the same thing Anna and in the Apocalypse has the sharpened off candy cane. I think they probably legitimately thought this could be a cult classic one day. And I can't fault them for that. But, and I've said this to you guys before, like I would love to make a movie at some point, but I'm not going to make a movie if it's going to turn out like that or it's going to go straight to the Dollar Tree. I don't want to do that. Like, oh, I made a movie, my dream came true. Yeah, but did it? Like just because you make a movie doesn't mean it's a good movie and you're going to be proud of it. So stuff like that, just leave it alone. Scary Movie ended after the third one. I don't even remember if the third one was good. The first two are great. They're making another one, by the way, but the original people are there. So I'm okay with that. Now, if you took, and I think you kind of touched on it, Kelly, if you took the Terrifier crew, writers, directors, everything else, and put them on this movie, we'd probably have a different product. We'd probably have Terrifier 3, right? Because Christmas movie. I feel like if it's kind of like Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage needs to be wild and unchained, and when he is, he's almost perfect. He has to have that director that knows how to deal with that. This was something where like we just don't know. Like, hey, we got this guy who played Art the Clown. Just let him do his thing. And he does the same movements, the same shit. So I understand that there was maybe that possibility, but it just fell flat, and it fell flat hard.
it feels like at this point they're just doing a Mad Libs, and it's like insert
Oh
beloved
yeah,
childhood character.
Or they have a board in their
Grinch.
office with all the different things, and they close their eyes and just fucking throw darts at it. And like,
Humpty
oh,
Dumpty, Mother Goose, Peter Pan, you can anything you think of. Magilla Gorilla, Grape Ape, Guac. I mean, anything they can get their hands on, they'll do. Yeah.
let's take a second. This might take a second to think, but you just rambled off a lot. What's a public domain movie that you would watch a horror movie of, a rendition of?
You know what I think would be a great horror movie if they kept the main characters the same and just made it dark? Scooby-Doo.
Oh yeah,
If
well they're
you
doing
make
that.
it, unless it's instead of being goofy, if you make it dark, like they are trying to solve an actual murder and we're seeing the murders before they come into town and then the murders are coming while they're trying to solve it, I think that would go over like gangbusters. You keep Fred, Daphne, Scooby, all the gang, you keep them their normal selves, just not goofy, they are the crew, and then you make it a dark horror film. I think that would be great.
I like the SNL skit they did where people's heads just
Oh,
so the Netflix they're making a Scooby-Doo Netflix series and it's supposed to be dark. So fingers crossed. But that's a great answer. Great answer, bud. John, do you think of anything? Maybe like gummy bears, horror gummy bears.
I think
They're
they
just
should just
fucking
stop.
annihilating everybody bouncing around.
I just
Do
think they
y'all
should.
rem
I think
John,
the problem they just need to do original horror movies. They need to stop doing this stuff.
yeah,
This is the
it's
problem.
cheap. It's
Yeah,
cheap
it's
and easy.
cheap.
John, do you remember the Alice in Wonderland video game that was dark? It was a computer game. It wasn't.
Oh
It
yeah,
wasn't for. Oh,
I
that
remember
was
that
so
one. Yeah.
good. That's another property that could be done dark really well because she is traveling into what is basically an LSD fever dream.
Sure, that could work. That
Yeah,
could work.
I like
Yeah.
that. All right. That's it. Let's go around and give our rankings, close up shop. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait. John, what'd you give this one?
They don't need to make these anymore. These things don't need to get any attention anymore. I think I'm just gonna make a point here. I'm gonna draw a line. I don't give a fuck anymore. Uh, I want to give it. My initially reaction was give it a 0, but I'm actually gonna go a little further. I'm giving it a -2 because I'm giving
That's
it a
another
negative
first.
2. I'm giving it a -2, and if we're allowed to do that, if we're not allowed to do it, I'm gonna go with 0. But if we're allowed to go negative, I'm gonna go
You
negative
can go
2.
negative. We'll probably stop at 0 though for the actual rating. But yeah,
I'm
you
gonna,
can go. You
I
can
will
go
say
-50 if you want to, bud.
nah. I'm gonna say -2 just because no reason to make this movie, no reason to ever have this movie. I think this is exactly what kills horror. This is exactly part of the reason that the horror genre has problems the way it is shit like this keeps getting regurgitated. We need more movies like Weapons. We need more movies like Sinners. We need more movies like Companion. We need more movies like The Monkey. We need less movies like this. We need less remakes. We don't need another fucking Frankenstein movie. We don't
Here's the
need all
thing.
these remakes. We need original movies. That's what people want to see.
Here's the thing. There are so many authors right now creating incredible books that are horror
Exactly.
based with great original stories, and you're not tapping those because you'd rather make some garbage of a kid's that preys on our love for our childhood, and it doesn't work. Look, I love the Grinch. I watch it every year, the original cartoon. I like the Jim Carrey one. Jim Carrey did an incredible job. That's where you make these movies. You make them real, but you make it based on the original and play around with it and make it. That's fine. But like John said, start making original horror. That's what people want. You can continue stories of Michael Myers and Freddy Krueger. Everybody expects that at this point. We expect at some
Right.
point in time a new Texas Chainsaw Massacre will come out with a new Leatherface. We
Climbing
ex-
a cornfield. I like that movie.
yeah,
I liked it. Yeah.
yeah, and and again, that was an author writing an original horror story. There are so many, and I can't think of them off the top of my head. I've got a whole Goodreads full of horror because horror novels are my favorite genre to read. It's, suspense books because they keep your attention. They're out there,
Grady
and
Hendrix. That's
and
like
we yeah, Grady Hendrix is phenomenal writer of horror stuff. There's so much material out there. If you're afraid of trying to write something original and it being a bomb, guess what? The reading community after post COVID is rabid. They will flock to the theater. I will say I think most of these books would be a better short run Netflix, Hulu, whatever series because I think you can do better justice to these stories with about 8 episodes because it's hard to condense a movie into 2 hour or a 10-hour book into a 2 hour movie. And I'm talking about audiobooks. I think it's better as a short form, but there are so many great original stories out there that you could be tapping into. Do that. Stop doing this. Nobody asked for this. Nobody wants this. We don't want any more of them. You're not gonna hit gold or strike gold because you managed to make somebody might get away with it being a decent writer and writing one where people are like it wasn't that bad. It's still not going to be a movie in 50 years where AFI is going to say top horror movies of all time and it's ever going to be included in that list. Stop it. This is a zero. It does not deserve any recognition for anything. Nobody in this movie deserves any recognition for making it. Just please stop.
Amen.
You stopped at the Illumination Grinch. Did you like that one?
I like that too. I mean,
I like
like
that one better than I thought it would.
the Grinch is supposed to be a heartwarming story, not a murder story. It's supposed to be about an outcast who feels like he is being left out, and instead of being able to talk about or react because he feels so secluded that he decides to take everybody's joy. And when he realizes that it's not about the materialistic things, which is what we should be thinking about in 2025, that it's about people and being human and being kind, which is what makes his heart grow 3 sizes. That's what it's about. When you take that away, you've destroyed the whole story, the whole purpose. And again, it ruins the movie itself. It puts a bad taste in your mouth for the Grinch. I'll watch it again this year just to get this out of my head. But nobody wants this. Nobody wants a bloodthirsty, rabid, Yeti type monster that resembles the Grinch in a horror film. Nobody wants Mickey Mouse. It's a beloved childhood character. Nobody wants him running around murdering people. Just stop.
But money,
Nobody's
tell
gonna
him.
watch
Money.
a Scooby-Doo movie where Scooby-Doo is running around ripping throats out of people's throat, because at the end of the day, that was their childhood. You're taking their childhood and perverting it. Sorry, I'm done.
Yeah.
Scooby-Doo, I think, would be the exception to the rule because that was gateway horror anyways. Anybody ever think that Dennis the Menace was public domain and that's when they made The Good Son with Macaulay Culkin?
I never. Wow.
Yeah, they did.
That's
not true. I'm
dark
making that up.
movie.
I'm just like, it would be funny if that was the case.
But that is a really good movie. Very good movie. Yeah.
Before I give my ranking, we have to set up a rule. John, we can go negative, okay?
Mhm.
We'll go negative. We cannot go over 5.
That's fair. No, -5 is fair. That's totally fair. Absolutely. 100%. 100%.
Oh, I think he means like we can't have like a 6 or 7. Like it's got to be.
Yeah.
I agree 100%.
Yeah. You can go -20, but it's still a default 0. But we're not going to go over 5.
I think John having a -2 is good, just in case Jay gives it a 2, so that we end at a 0. Because if this movie, if the Horror Sanctum puts anything more than a 0 on it, I quit.
I did not give it a 2. I gave it a 3.5.
Jesus Christ.
No, I'm just joking. I'm joking. It's a 0.
I was like, what?
But like I said earlier, I don't know if I said it on this show or not, or just when we were talking. When I watched this originally, I was like, okay, like it's fine, right? Watched it again. I'm like, it's not fine. Like this is bad. It's bad. So it's a 0. Puts it at a 0 if you're -2 and 2 zeros. I guess that's about the same.
And TJ gave it a 2 out of 5.
No, we didn't. We're not going to talk about that.
I think the only way the negative would help is if we went opposite. If like 5 and negative, that's the only way that would balance. But yeah.
So we'll put
Zero.
the mean one, written by Dr. Zeus, at a 0 out of 5. That's 2 zeros in a month time, I think. That's fine, right? That's good. Good content if we hate shit, when all of us hate shit instead of just 1 or 2. But anyways, that's it for this episode. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and to wherever you're listening to this podcast. Follow us on Instagram, join our Facebook group, follow us on TikTok, and check out our Amazon Music playlist where there is some Grinch music, but nothing from this shithole. It's Tyler the Creator doing the Grinch from the 2018 one. I like that. So we got a couple of Grinch songs on there too. And come back next week for our Christmas special. I don't think it was going to happen. I thought we were going to have a guest to go with our movie that we're watching, but he is terrible at reading messages, so I don't think that's going to happen. But TJ should be back for that one. We'll make it work for TJ. We recorded these two because his schedule's so wonky, but we have to save the Christmas episode for him. That's only fair. So holidays, other events have just made life crazy for all of us. My life's going to get real crazy soon too, so we try to record ahead, and it works. So anyways, signing off, I'm Jay with John and Kellen, and until next time,
Keep it spooky And for the love of God, ban this film.